Hey, what's up everybody? This is Spencer and welcome back to my shop. Today we're going to be doing some more fun things on this Z50R that I've been working on. If you stayed with me last time, we built an aluminum tank for it. I thought that turned out pretty cool. So I have one more frame modification that I need to make that I kind of just forgot about until a friend of mine, Jamie in Australia, reminded me of it. Thanks, buddy. I need to strengthen the frame up underneath the gas tank on this thing. They're pretty bad about wanting to kind of bow out over time, especially with longer forks on here with an adult rider. So I saw where he had used some angle iron and a lot of other people had too. Personally, I just wanted to try something a little bit different because I thought it would be fun. So I bought some chromoly tubing, and my game plan is to cut it in half basically and weld it here, all the way from the steering head back to the tank mount back here, up underneath the seat. So hopefully that'll add enough strength to where I don't bend it from jumping it off of big jumps. But we'll see. I went ahead and removed the top of this tank mount and cut out the center of the tube so that way my chromoly tube could pass through uninterrupted. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weld a little bit more on the top portion of those tubes just to give them some more strength. They just kind of tacked them in place. So I'll lay a little bead on there just to make sure that they don't eventually fatigue themselves and crack. And I also took a protractor and held it up in here and figured out that my tube was about 15 degrees from vertical in relation to my backbone of my frame. So what I'll be able to do is take my chromoly tube and rock it in my mill and take a hole saw and go through it at a 15-degree angle to relieve it for the head tube. So this may be the wonkiest thing that you've seen today, but what I've got here is my chromoly tube, which is 1.25 inches in diameter, clamped to my table. I've got a pin taped to a height gauge, and reason being is I'm going to draw a line down the center of this, so at 5/8 of an inch, which is half of 1 1/4. So I'll bring the height gauge down and I'll set the pin tip off of it and then lock it in place. And then I'll have a nice clear center line for me to cut it with my angle grinder. And then I will just drag it along and I'll have a nice center. I left myself plenty of room to where I could do it on both sides. I'm only going to use about 15 inches or so of this pipe, so I'll put a mark on there so I don't fight this the whole way for no reason. Alright, right about there. Do the same on the other side. Now I have a center line that's matched up perfectly on both sides. I've been meaning to 3D print a holder for a Sharpie for this height gauge for a while now, and I just keep forgetting to do it until I have to do it on a project like this. But now we have a good center line, I can cut it. So I cut the tube in half long ways and cleaned it up real nice, just deburred it. And now I've got it mounted inside of my mill with a hole saw that I've already touched off and found the center of. I didn't have the right hole saw for this, just not the right size, so I'm gonna open it up with the closest size I have and then take my angle grinder and open it up the rest of the way. I'll just make a line on the outside of my cut that's about 1/8 inch larger, and that should give me enough room to slide it around the head tube. I'll use a digital magnetic level gauge here to set it to 15 degrees, which is what we decided it needed to be based off of the frame. I went ahead and after I was done cutting my tube and making it fit the best I could, I went ahead and prepped it for welding. I prepped the frame as well, wiped it all down with acetone with a clean rag. First thing I'm gonna do is weld these tank mount posts back the way that I talked about. And then I will tack this tube on good and make sure that it's straight and weld the whole thing up. I just got done welding this thing up. I think it turned out pretty good. I welded back on the top bridge of the tank mount there and just kind of blended my welds back down so that way it wouldn't really look like I did anything. My game plan is after this frame's powder coated for you to not really be able to tell that I modified the frame at all. I try to make everything look as clean and uniform as possible. And hopefully this works out the way that I thought and it's strong enough. Well, that's gonna about do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Didn't really do a whole lot of explaining what was going on. I just had to do a lot of trimming on this and everything. There really wasn't a whole lot to it. It was just kind of tedious. So hopefully that's strong enough to withstand some abuse for years to come. I have a couple of choices of what I can do next on this thing, and I welcome all of your input on this. I can either build this engine next the way that I want, or build the exhaust for it. If you've seen my work before, you know I like to build titanium pipes. If you haven't seen my work before, check it out on Instagram at POS Parts. I've built a couple of titanium pipes now and I've always liked doing that, so I've got some kind of special plan for this. I'm going to try to build the thing 100% from scratch, the muffler and everything, so that should be interesting. I've never done that before. I normally just recycle mufflers from something else and cut them up to make them the way that I want. So let me know if you want to see me build the engine next or you want to see me build an exhaust, but either way we're going to keep going with this, and we're getting one step closer. You know, the frame's all done, I'm pretty sure, and should be good to go pretty soon. I want to get this thing done, you know, hopefully by the end of the year or somewhere around there. But thanks for watching. Make sure you check out my other videos so you can see me build this gas tank, the chromoly swing arm, make some other frame modifications, fork stuff, all that fun stuff. If you haven't checked it out already, I'd appreciate it. Take care.